This pie chart, given by the article titled The Unbearable Whiteness of Librarianism, published in 2013 by WordPress, shows that predominantly in our country, the US population is white, and then the next biggest would be Hispanic or Latino, and then following that would be African American. And these current statistics really show to us how immigration really affects our population and our culture. With this being shown, and all of us being from parents of possible immigration and whatnot, like we are most likely U.S. born, but our parents and our ancestors had to get here somehow, some way. This represents that our culture is kind of turning a different way. And although I am a white male of America, this is showing that our culture is kind of steering away from joining together. We're really kind of losing our individuality and then using that to combine our skills. We're mainly going away from that and showing that we're all separate. We're all different. And with these numbers in your head, can you believe that we only allow 1 million people into the United States every year? This pie chart has been getting more and more within the new immigration laws, and it is possible that it will only continue to reduce the other percentages of the population, and it will just predominantly get more and more white as we continue. And this is evident enough that the current level of immigration needs to be changed. Trump's ideas for immigration must be put down, and our economy can be severely hurt by lack of immigration. Our country and our state require many things, and a diverse culture is one of the most important cogs in our machine. The potential of minds from different backgrounds working together is astronomical, but currently it is limited. Our current policy for immigration is according to the American Immigration Council from their article, How It All Works, in 2016. A family-based preference is usually used to keep families together instead of separated across borders, and that's how we predominantly choose who can get allowed entrance to our country. We also have a merit-based system where if they're working, if they have a steady income, they're allowed into our country, so we're usually taking the top tier of those trying to enter our country. But there is a ceiling for each country. As you saw with those percentages, each country has a limited amount of people allowed into this country. We're only going to take, of the 1 million, only 10% from this country, only 20% from that country. We're not allowing steady flow from everybody seeking to come in, because it's possible that one country may only want that allotted amount of people to come in. That may be that everyone comes from that country. But it's showing that we are really not diversifying our country, and we're really straying away from being a very unique culture and the unique land of the free, home of the brave, freedom of speech, all that we've come to be in America, all that we've worked to gain. And lastly, we've also put a cap on how many refugees we take from countries in trouble, countries in the Middle East that are struggling. We've put a cap on how many we will receive from that country. And I think that is totally profound in the fact that we're not willing to help anymore. We're trying to isolate ourselves, and isolationism is not the solution to this problem. These are things we have found from the past, and also the Obama administration, I feel, was on the right track. However, they still weren't finished. They still had not come to terms with what we could do in this potential. However, we do have a new president. You all know that we have elected Donald Trump into office for 2017, and he's been very opinionated, especially about this topic. The New York Times has published several articles on things Trump has said and been attempting to put into action. The transcript of Donald Trump's immigration speech and Trump's immigration policies explained are both articles published in 2017 by the New York Times. But here's what they had to say. Trump's speech stated many points about giving jobs back to the American people, which is honestly great. It could improve American business. But he plans to stiffen up our borders and keep most people out. Build that wall, as he said. That's one of his most famous campaign lines. Make America Great Again. What does that really have to say about Donald Trump and his policies toward immigration? It shows that we are trying to isolate ourselves because we are better. In reality, we really aren't better than most countries outside of the United States. Yeah, we have great systems in here, but our poverty lines are just like theirs. We are failing just as they are. And Trump intends to increase the hunt for illegal immigrants and deportation. And he also has a policy where there will be no judge required for deportation. They don't even have a trial before they get deported. They don't even have a chance. And this concerns me, this concerns politicians, and I'm sure it concerns you. Trump's administration would have free will on who they deport, and they have no intention of fluctuating on this policy. What Trump is not seeing is how diversity can make a difference in the country. How diversity can be something that we all benefit from. And the University of California, Berkeley published in 2017 their article, Diversity Makes a Difference. This is a great analogy to what could happen if we lessened up some of our laws on immigration and put in a lot of effect on how we can grow as a country with this culture. In a science lab, many different backgrounds and cultures collide. However, the result is rather inspiring. Each scientist coming from a different culture, a different background, has new ideas, new ways, different thinking processes to make their scientific judgment, their best call on a subject. So these guys will bounce back and forth ideas, and they will bounce back what can and will not be done on this subject, and they will come to a solution. It's that collaboration, that unique thought process that brings them together to create something better. The science lab demonstrated by Berkeley's article inspired 3 solutions to our immigration system. And these ideas are not meant to make the process easy, but to reinstill the melting pot of culture that the United States used to be. Brown wrote an article on how to modernize the illegal immigration system in 2017. And he shared his 3 steps on how we can furthermore excel the process and make it better. Number 1 is a merit-based green card system. Now, we shouldn't hold the levels that we are at today, but we should lessen it just a little bit. But we should still have a system to where we know they will excel in our country and they will make us better. Because we don't want to take all those that could possibly postpone us from success. And number 2, state governments should create their own work visa policy. A work visa is something where when a foreigner moves into the country, they can then apply for a work visa, and while working here, they can establish an income, they can establish money, and they have a visa to help pay them through our country's money system and whatnot, because they are coming from a different currency. And lastly, number 3, an immigration tariff would also benefit the country as far as an influx of money and making sure that they also meet these requirements and that they will excel in our country, because we are an expensive society to live in, so we do not want to hurt people by letting them in here when they would really be hurting themselves trying to keep up with our massive growth in the United States. Examples of why immigration is beneficial to the United States are people like Albert Einstein and John Muir. I'm sure you haven't thought of this, but Albert Einstein and John Muir were both immigrants to this country, and both, you know very well, have paid dividends to the United States. John Muir has established many hospitals, especially one in my area, Walnut Creek, that benefits everyone around him. And Albert Einstein, the genius that he is, I mean, barring the atom bomb, he did do many great things for science, and I believe that he paid dividends for us. Now, I believe the position is that people meet these standards deserve to be a part of the growth in the United States. Now, there are things like letting more people into our country will take away from the jobs of the American people. Like Trump says, that's what he's advocating for. However, competition has led to society's greatest growth. I mean, we are a capitalistic society. Competition is what leads us to improvement. It is what leads us to greater bounds. And now I want you to picture a workplace for collaboration, where diverse cultures unite and they collaborate and use their own ingenuities to fill out numerous amounts of successes. These people come from immigration, and immigration laws need to be changed in order for this to improve, in order for us to meet these goals. If we change Trump laws and we wouldn't be prohibiting creativity and ingenuity anymore. We would be moving towards a greater society. We would be moving towards that science lab where all these different cultures and backgrounds come together to create something new and profound. And following these three steps would really create a new perception for us and our children, and it will create a new future. We need to immediately advocate for a different course of action, and I want you guys to contact your congressman, sign those petitions you find online, and demand a new idea to be put forth. Because if you remember that circle from the beginning where we're all divided, separated by our races, the thing we really need to strive for is a complete circle where we're not looking at different cultures of different people and separating them that way. We actually are just a complete American culture, where even if you're U.S. born or non-U.S. born, together we strive for success. With these people moving towards greater bounds and greater successes, we can find ourselves making great leaps towards the future. Now contact your congressman, sign that petition, spread your voice, start a rally, because your voice getting heard can be the change that will change the United States for the better.
All right. Hey, let's go ahead and take a break and then we'll come back and